Hi again, everybody. Welcome back to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
I'm Antony.
Today we are in our The Origins, the beginnings, the source of something. And today's something is really, really strange and beautiful at the same time. And that's what we'll be talking about in our A Strange Tale of Snails and Rabbits.
没错，今天我们要讲的是很奇妙 A strange tale 就是奇谈哦。然后呢 of snails and rabbits 就是蜗牛跟这个兔子。好，当然你今天如果提到说蜗牛啊、兔子啊，大家都晓得。但是呢，如果说它背后是有故事的，你搞不好你就不晓得了，对不对？而且你看看它这个副标题哦，他说 A look at medieval memes。各位知不知道迷因 memes？ 各位可能晓得在网络上有看过各式各样不同的迷因，像是姚明那个哈哈笑的那个迷因，有没有各式各样的迷因嘛？想不到在中世纪也有迷因哎，我们来赶快看看今天的内容吧。
A Strange Tale of Snails and Rabbits. In 2020, scientists discovered an unusual historical object in northern England. It is a small silver figure of a snail shell resting on top of a goat's back. On the top of the shell, a knight is seated with his hands pressed together like he's praying. At first, experts thought it was created to present a serious message. However, after examining it a bit closer, they concluded that it was designed to make people laugh. In other words, they probably discovered an ancient meme. It wasn't an easy task coming to this conclusion, as the piece is filled with hidden meanings. During medieval times, snails represented cowards. The image of knights defeating snails in battle was often used to show good defeating evil. In addition, the knight's hands pressed together in prayer might suggest the artwork has religious meanings. However, the artist meant to make the figure look silly. It might have been a way to make fun of knights who were slow to act when they were called on. Or it was used to tease those who avoided combat by using religion as an excuse.
Okay, let's get busy with our first paragraph. In 2020, scientists discovered an unusual historical object in northern England. Now, 2020, we can also say 2020, as you wish. Scientists, now, there are many kinds of scientists. Here they would be archaeologists. Don't worry about that word. But they also do science. In fact, they are anthropologists who study their business, their love of study, takes them into the past to try to find things, but more importantly, understand things. How did people used to live? What did they create? That's important. But why did they create it? And we will look at one historical from long ago, from history, an object that we're not sure why it was made this way.
Yeah, 没错，老师刚刚提到两个重要的字，第一个字呢叫做 archaeologists。archaeologists 指的就是指考古学家的意思。那第二个老师提到的是 anthropologists， 就是指人类学家，不管是考古学家、人类学家，他们都是属于我们第一句话里面讲的 scientists， 他们算是去研究当初的人们他的生活形态是怎么样，用的器具是怎么样。好，在主要的话去研究这些事情，了解到当初过去时候生活的样貌。所以在第一句话里面他提到说 in 2020， 好，在去年2020年的时候 scientists discovered an unusual historical object in northern England。然后我还去查了一下 Northern England， 它是在 Yorkshire， 好，就是约克郡这个地方所找到的。所以整句话的意思是在2020年的时候，科学家们发现了一项好很罕见的 unusual historical object 历史文物，然后地点呢是在这个英格兰的北部。
It refers to this historical object. Now we will describe it. It is a small silver figure of a snail shell resting on top of a goat's back. Okay, silver here could have two meanings. The object is made of silver, gold, silver, that's one of the elements, or it can have the color of silver, which is also referring to most metals. Most metals have a special color, and we call it after the element silver because many of them look the same. Now, a figure here refers to something which is made by hand and is carved or produced in other means. And what is it? What does it look like? A snail shell. Snail is something that most Westerners, certainly Americans, do not like at all. But in some countries, in Italy, in France, here in Eastern Asia, in India, many countries, maybe most countries, you can eat snails. They're really big in Taiwan. So that's the snail. But the snail is carved on top of a goat's body, the shape of a goat, the back of a goat. Why were these two very, very different things put together? The archaeologist wants to know.
没错，所以整句话呢，它第二句话讲说 ，It is a small silver figure。老师刚刚提到说 ，silver 这边可以指的是它的外观，它是有银色的这种颜色，或者是它本身 ，it is made of silver， 它本身就是银。好，这个它的材质就是银做的。好，它这边话不清楚，不晓得是讲颜色还是它的材质。他说呢，它是一个银色的这种塑像，好 ，OK， 或者是银质的这种塑像。Of a snail shell， 这个 snail 的话指的是蝸牛了。刚刚提到说，在这个可能像法国啦这些地方，欧洲的某些地方他们是吃蝸牛的。那像我们的话，在台湾也有烧酒雷，我们会吃蝸牛啊，对不对？田螺，对不对？他就说它的塑像的这个外形是什么呢 ？A snail shell resting on top of a goat's back。这个山羊背上有一个蝸牛，为什么他们会把蝸牛跟山羊这两个不同的生物居然摆在一起呢？于是这些考古学家就在思考了。
Okay, and that's not all. On the top of the shell, so we have goat, snail shell. On top of that, a knight is seated with his hands pressed together like he's praying. That's what this would mean.
Okay, 所以在这边的话还没完哦，在这个蝸牛壳上面呢，还坐着一个骑士，好，这个中古世纪的骑士，然后坐在上面呢，双手合十着，好像是在祈祷的感觉。
At first, when the archaeologists discovered this, experts, the archaeologists, thought it was created, it was made, it was sculpted, it was produced to present a serious message. They thought, for one thing, to make this is not easy to do. It took time, it took good materials, and it was quite a vivid idea, a very clear idea of what they had. But again, what is the message? Why was this thing made?
没错，在这边的话，你看到这个 at first， 你只要看到 at first， 起初一开始，你就知道后面应该会有一些不一样的转折。好，最初一开始我跟他不是好朋友，你就知道后来可能变好朋友了那种感觉。所以在 at first 的时候，你要有这样的预感。OK， 最开始的时候 ，experts thought it was created to present a serious message。最初呢，这个专家以为说，哇，这个东西雕塑出来是要去传达一个很严肃的讯息。
However, but after examining it, after studying it very carefully, a bit closer, now that does not mean to put it in front of your face. It means to spend more time on it and maybe to look at it from different angles and to measure it and so on. They concluded, they felt, oh, I think I understand why this was made. Why? It was designed to make people laugh. Well, that's possible. Three things that are never really connected with each other, put together. Maybe it was just a silly idea, and look at this thing, ha ha ha.
没错，所以在这个地方他就说了，他们在However， 我刚刚不是提到说你要去想说 at first 后面一定还有一个转折吗？转折来了，他说 after examine it a bit closer， 他在仔细审视了之后，老师刚刚特别提到 they spend more time examine it， 好，就变成是去花更多时间，不只是把它拿靠近看，靠近看也没什么用，对不对？所以他们仔细审视、仔细去研究之后，才发现到 they concluded that， 他们就下了这个结论 ，it was designed to make people laugh， 原来这是用来博君一笑。他看到说，哇，觉得好好笑。可能呢，他这3样东西因为都完全没关系，放在一起很好笑，或者它有其他的意义，让大家觉得很好笑。
In other words, another way to say the same thing, they, the archaeologists, these experts, probably discovered an ancient meme. A meme is an idea which is passed down through the ages,and it's very culturally specific. So, for example, my favorite example, the dragon, which is painted and talked about in almost all cultures. In the West, it's a bad thing. Here in East Asia, it's a strong and positive thing. Same symbol, different memes.
OK， 所以在这个地方呢 ，meme 呢本身它就是有一个意思在了啊，它意思就是说，今天如果像是老师举的例子是龙的话，在东方的话是那种吉祥祥瑞的这种生物，但是到西方就是邪恶的化身，在不同的文化底下，它会同样的一个图像讯息，它可以产生不同的文化意义，这可以叫做 meme。那在现阶段网络的时代呢，如果说今天一个图像是被人家传唱不衰啊，或者像是我刚刚最开头的时候介绍到，可能像是姚明那个哈哈笑的那个图像，或是其他你看过的这种，这也叫做网络的迷因。那在这边他说 ，in other words， 换句话说呢，说不定这些科学家 they probably discovered an ancient meme， 他们找到的是古代他们所使用的这样的迷因哦。
Okay, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll find out more about this strange tale. Oh, welcome back. Let's continue. It wasn't an easy task coming to this conclusion. The experts studied it.And they were really, Well, finally they concluded, their final thought is, hey, this is a kind of joke. Putting these unusual things together, we don't see any other example of this. Maybe some crazy artist just decided to do something strange and wonderful and funny. As means because. Why did they come to this conclusion? Because the piece is filled with hidden meanings. This goes back to this idea of meme. Through history, some ideas are passed down. We talked about dragons before. And because there are 3 very different things here, there should be some kind of connection. Well, to today's people, those ideas or meanings are hidden. We don't see them or understand them right away.
没错，所以在这边的话呢，老师特别提到，像 meme 这个地方，它是不断流传下来的，所以它是有一个这种历史上的延续感存在的。所以在这边的话，你看到第一句话，第二段，他说 It wasn't an easy task coming to this conclusion， 要做出这样的结论，去决定说，这个东西是用来博君一笑的。其实要做这样的结论，其实并不容易。为什么呢？他后面讲。As 这边的 as 的话，老师刚刚也解释了，它是 because 的意思。为什么那么不容易？因为 the piece is filled with hidden meanings。在这个作品本身呢，就藏有许许多多隐藏的讯息，要去解读这些讯息，透过你对以往的这种 memes 这种形态，或者是某些东西它背后蕴藏的意义，你要去分析它，所以要做出这样的结论，真的很难。
During medieval times,medieval period of history is roughly from about 500 AD to 1500 AD. It's not an exact period of time. It's an idea of culture, not actual fact. Snails represented cowards, during that time if you drew a picture of a snail or you called someone a snail, because when you walk near a snail, it will go into its shell to protect itself. It's not going to stand out here and try to fight you back. So the opposite of that will be the coward.
所以在这时候 during medieval times 在当初中古世纪的时候呢 snails 老师刚刚还演示一下，如果你看到这个蝸牛的话，那蝸牛会出来跟你对瞪吗？不会，它马上缩回壳里头。所以说在中古世纪的时候，往往大家把蝸牛视为是一个懦夫的象征。
The image, the picture, and now we can use that word again, the meme of knights defeating snails in battle. There were pictures which showed brave knights on their horses fighting not other soldiers from a different country or culture, but snails. This idea was quite common at a certain period of time. That picture was often used. It represented good defeating evil, because knights are definitely good, and they needed something to represent evil. It could have been a dragon, but they chose the snail.
所以在这边的话呢，他就讲说了 ，the image of knights defeating snails in battle， 在战争的场面里头，骑士击败这个蝸牛啊，好，通常这样子的这种场景，这样子的意象呢 ，was often used to show good defeating evil， 就是要去表达出善良，好击败了这个邪恶这样的感觉。当然了，你也可以把这个蝸牛像老师刚刚讲的，换成其他像是什么 dragons 也可以，但他们选择使用蝸牛来代表懦弱啦，或代表邪恶这样的感觉。
In addition, moreover, furthermore, besides, the knight's hands pressed together in prayer might suggest the artwork, this is the sculpture we are talking about, has religious meanings, because in Western culture, the earliest paintings from the West after the Christian era began, this represented people praying, asking, or blessing. They were involved in some religious feeling or idea.
所以除了这个之外，老师这边讲到 in addition 之外呢，还有什么 besides, moreover， 举了好多的这种转折词，对不对？好，这都是可以值得学起来的哦。好，他后面就讲说 the knight's hands pressed together， 好，这个骑士在这个塑像里面双手合十 in prayer， 好，他这边看起来像在祷告一样的样子 ，might suggest the artwork， 说不定是指出有可能什么情况呢？这样的作品 the artwork has religious meaning， 可能有一些宗教方面的意涵。所以老师刚刚是不是去解释到说，尤其是在有基督教之后的这些文物啦，或者是图画等等，当你有类似出现这种祈祷的手势的时候，多半都跟宗教有关。
Okay, let's take a brief break before we continue with the next paragraph. Okay, welcome back. Now let's look at our last paragraph. However, but the artist meant to make the figure look silly. Now, this is quite a strong statement because it's saying the artist, the person who created this sculpture, his purpose was to have fun, to show some humor, or just be silly, just do something because he felt like doing it. It really didn't have any special, certainly not an important meaning.
所以在这边的话呢 ，however， 他一开始就告诉你有个转折了。不过，虽然他前面讲到说什么可能有宗教上的意涵啦，良善战胜这个邪恶啦等等，可是事实上在这个作品里面 ，the artist 这个作者呢，创造这个作品的人呢 ，meant to make the figure look silly， 他只是希望说拿这个作品来搞笑而已。他看起来觉得好傻哦，怎么会做出这样的东西呢？只是来搞笑的。
It might have been, it means the making and the creating, the thinking and production of this sculpture. It might have been a way to make fun of knights, to tease knights, T-E-A-S-E, T-E-A-S-E, make fun of or tease knights who were slow to act when they were called on. Now, knights had a very high position in the medieval period, and they were well respected, but not everyone is perfect, and maybe the son of a good knight was actually a lazy guy, but his father was a knight, so maybe he became one too. What? You want me to ride my horse for 3 days and then go and fight and I may be killed? Let me think about that.
原来是这样，所以在这边的话，你可以看到了 ，It might have been a way。有个地方你帮我把它圈起来 ，might have been。你只要听到 might have 后面加上 VPP，通常是针对过去事情所做的推测。你可以说 It might have been 来表达你不是那么确定 ，It may have been 比较确定。It must have been 就是超级确定就是这样 ，OK， 好，这是第一个，对，针对过去事情做推测的时候，你会用这样的句型。说不定呢，在这边他讲说，说不定这是以前的时候，好 ，a way to make fun of knights， 好，去嘲笑某一些骑士。老师刚刚还用另外一个字 tease。tease 的话就是也是去挖苦一下，好，就讲说哈，你看看你这个懦夫，好那种感觉。Who were slow to act when they were called on？ 当这些骑士被征召要去打仗的时候，他们都慢吞吞的啊，希望说拖一拖，搞不好我到战场上战已经打完了，这样我就可以不用冒死的去打这场仗了。这种拖拖拉拉的这些人，我们用这种作品来嘲笑他。
Or here's another possible explanation for this piece. It was used to tease, we just mentioned that, those who avoided combat. In this sculpture, it was a knight, but it may have been other people as well, other men as well, who avoided combat, run away from fighting or avoid fighting by using religion as an excuse. The Bible says we should not kill, we should not hurt other people, la la la. Actually, they're just afraid. They're not doing it because they think they're good, but because they're a coward. So it's religion could be an excuse for a coward.
所以在这边的话，第二种可能的这种解读呢 ，it was used to tease。好，我们刚刚讲到的 tease 出现了，对不对 ？Those who avoided combat by using religion as an excuse. Using something as an excuse. Excuse 指的是借口，用宗教来当做一种借口，想办法逃避这种战争，以免这种贪生怕死嘛，所以就不想要去上战场，那就用宗教说啊，宗教告诉我们不能杀人啊，所以我不去，我不能伤害人家，所以我不去。其实事实上是怕死而已，用这种方式去嘲笑这些人。
Okay, starting with the word historical. Remember, history, but the adjective is historical.
Historical 就是历史上的或历史的。好，这 historical 老师特别提醒我们 ，history 重音在第一音节，但是如果变成形容词，我们会说 historical。好，在这边的话，重音要跑到后面第二音节的地方。那我们常常会提到什么 historical objects。好，就是指历史文物 ，historical figures 指的是历史的人物，对不对？在这里的话 ，historical 后面可以接很多的名词。
Our next word, praying. Praying. If I do this, you probably guess that that's praying, asking or blessing others as a religious act.
没错，就是祝福他人或者是祈求、祈祷，都可以用这个字 praying。
Continuing. Concluded, that is to reach a final decision.
Conclude 然后再加上 d 好变成这个动词的过去式 concluded, they concluded that 他们做出了结论。好，在这里的话就是做出结论 conclude。
Our next word is also the same stem or root, but now we have the noun form. Conclusion.
conclusion 就是指结论的意思，在这边的话是名词。我们刚刚学到的 conclude 是动词，把这个 de 去掉之后，加 sion 就变成名词 conclusion。We can say come to conclusion or arrive at this conclusion， 好，都是指做出了这样的结论。
In the same sentence, we have another review phrase for you. Be filled with. Be filled with is to have a lot of, or to be heavy or strong with.
就是充满着什么东西这样的意思。
Our next word, we talked about praying. That is when we do something. What do we think or speak when we pray? That is a prayer, often in the form of a poem or even a song.
Yeah, prayer 的话就是你所祈祷的事情，或是你所做祷告这件事情，比方 say your prayer。好，所以在这里的话，你再去祈祷的时候，你可以用 prayer， 在这个东西也当作是你所祈求的事物。My prayer has been answered， 就是我的祈祷得到了应许，得到了许诺，我得到了我想要的东西。
The next word is the adjective religious, I-O-U-S, 字尾. That's the adjective. I-O-N, religion is the noun form.
So religious 它是一个形容词字尾，就是宗教的。如果把它这个 O-U-S 去掉变成 O-N 的话呢，就是名词 religion 宗教的意思。
The next phrase, make fun of, we already used another of our words here, tease, and that's when you are having fun with somebody. It's a little naughty maybe, but it's not usually very serious.
所以说就有时候你想要逗弄一下你的朋友，让他讲一些话，让他觉得很不好意思啊什么，你就可以用这种方式去 make fun of or tease， 去嘲笑啦，去挖苦他一下这样。
And finally, call on. That is to request. Often you visit someone and then ask them for something.
Call on 的话，你有机会是去拜访，或者是 call on 征召这些 knights， 也可以用 call on 这样的片语哦。
All right, so that's it for today. Join us tomorrow when we finish this very unusual sculpture. Till then, bye-bye.